Good evening, everybody, and hopefully you can hear this and I've got all the routing correct. But welcome to another episode of, well, we'll tell you about that in a minute, but we are the Component Cast. Welcome to our TTRPG Network. If you've never been here, we create TTRPG content on 3 days a week now, and celebrating for the first time on the Tuesday Crew show of this particular broadcast, we have everybody here. Yes, the full team is here, which is blooming exciting. But Roach, what are we playing?
We're playing Lancer. It's a game made by Massive Press. It's available from their website for 25 USD. But if you want to try out the game, a version of the rulebook is available on their itch.io page for free. Also, confirmed from their website and from their actual Twitter account, there is a new printing of the rulebook that is being done. So it's up for pre-order right now. So if you want a physical copy of the book, that's a thing you can do now.
Okay. Mikey, do we have anything to promote on your end?
Well, we have a few things, little Midgeman. So, you can find all of our shows on individual podcast channels. You can find our Dungeons & Dragons show, the Eleanor Chronicles, our Urban Jungle show, Tracroga Nights, and our specials, including the Elite Dangerous Rival Zone special, the Goodies for Gobbies Red Moogle special, and the House of Time Midgeman special on the Podbean, Player FM, Podchaser, Listen Notes, and Bloom Play apps. You can find our Zweihander show, The Great Schism, and our Lancer show, the one we're currently playing. It's Just Business on Apple Podcast, Overcast, Pocket Cast, Castro, Castbox, Podfriend, and Good Pods.
Jesus.
You can find all these shows also released on YouTube and on the podcast channels at 12 noon GMT, Friday for Eleanor, Saturday for Lancer, and Sunday for Cyberpunk. And that's everything.
Fantabby-dozy. Well, without further ado, let's get on with tonight's broadcast, shall we? We're back. Yeah, it's a short one. I've been trying to. I was going like this. I can't use two of them. Like, what do you want me?
He has not watched this.
No, I've not. I've tried. I've had snippets of it, as you guys have seen when I come in the Twitch chat.
Blake, you want to give it a shot?
I mean, the specifics of what happened the last time we played are pretty. It's not much more complicated than stuff happened.
I'll go it if you want.
No, the party was experiencing downtime after our successful mission in destroying both anti-air defenses in the major cities and taking down 2 corvettes and a refueling station that had been situated. We were basically experiencing some downtime as 2 of us had to have our mechs completely reprinted after they were destroyed in combat. One by incident, one by deliberate. And the party was just really taking some time to familiarize itself. Specifically, I know Reaper went back into town against the behest of Demon, yes, to do some scouting in the city proper itself. Oleg went to get some basically medical work done. He wanted to see if his cyberware tech was fit for actually piloting these mechs long term, and was surprised to find that no, it's perfectly compatible. In fact, everything seems like it was designed to do this in the first place, which Oleg didn't understand for reasons that are beyond him, which I find hilarious because I know the reasons why. Demon spent more time kind of hobnobbing with the brass and the other upper echelons of the camp, familiarizing himself and getting set up with that. and how am I forgetting? Spanner, of course, Spanner. Spanner spent time, I believe it was working and ingratiating herself with the other engineers and the mech constructors, ensuring that they were set up and had everything they need to print the mechs, get them up and fitting and organized. And last but not least, Padre. Padre was working in the medical tent, ensuring that if anybody needed help, they were getting that. And that was pretty much that. That was all that happened last time, because last time was very much a downtime. Building into the events that will be coming forward soon, shortly, I'm sure.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So go ahead and mark down that you have a accuracy to use at some point during today's
Put a
game.
D6 in front of me.
Whatever works. Okay. Sorry, I was just sorting out getting a token together for a friend here, our new friend, which actually,
Our
old new friend, actually, kind of brings us to a. Sorry, I can't do. I'm sorry, doing two things at once. Yeah. I'll do this later. So this actually brings us to a different scene that we haven't seen before. So not in the main forward operating base that you've all been inside of. Instead, up in orbit, in a ship that you were all previously on, but it left when the operation to land started. We kind of focus in on a sick bay, a small sick bay in the gravity block of the ship. And Drax, your head is killing you. It's like all the noise is coming in at once and in like the same frequency, and it just kind of warbles every time there's a shift. It's hard to focus.
Just got tinnitus going on.
You could suppose you could say something like that, but it's more of a very much a just a very odd and off feeling. And as you kind of like try and focus in on individual sounds, you hear one that starts trying to come through until it coalesces into a voice that's kind of just peeking out above everything else. And you hear like a woman's voice, and a bright light kind of goes into your eyes when you try and open them. And it just like bright light goes away, comes back, goes away, comes back. Is it Olstein or is it Olstein?
Ursa.
Olstein. Okay, very German.
Olstein.
Got it. Cool. Mr. Olstein, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you track the light for me, please? And you don't see it, like
imagining the poor Drax. He's doing the. I don't know if you guys know the name, but you'll know the Lemmy, a Scottish comedian where he's waking up like that.
Yeah, the Jarl Bolgriff one.
And you see a light kind of moving, but there's not like a lot of details. Everything's very fuzzy. And it's like, okay. And as you kind of start coming back bit by bit, you hear background noise continue to coalesce into actual like physical sounds, and you hear like another voice that's a little off to the side, a little further away on the opposite side of the where you now realize you're laying in the bed. And you hear like another voice, very clinical, kind of curt, just reading out pulse steady, heart rate looks good, brainwaves within acceptable parameters, things like that, as this other voice kind of continues talking. It goes, can you tell me where you are? Where you think you are? What was the last thing you remember? And it just continues asking you questions. And your brain's very fuzzy. Your body feels like it's on fire. And it takes you a while to like start getting everything back, like, and start focusing. And what you see is you're in a room, like a ward. There's 2 rows of beds, kind of in a very long and thin compartment, just enough for like a gurney to get in between these 2 rows, but not a lot else. Definitely in a sick bay of some sort. Do you have any memory of what you were doing before you went to sleep?
Would I have memory of that?
You've got, yeah, like nothing's wrong with your recall. It's just like right now it's like your brain's having trouble like catching up. It's like your body's awake, but your brain's still kind of like a little asleep and it's trying to come back.
I'm still waking up. You have to give me a minute, but
Okay.
I have memory.
Okay. Good. Kind of continue looking through. You feel her hand like go to your wrist, and she's like physically checking pulse. Asked you to like track a hand a little bit before eventually like, okay, can you please sit up for us? Please sit up. And she's like definitely like making like not letting you do everything yourself either. Like hand behind your shoulder, like putting some weight, like using like her strength a little bit to help you up, even though you don't necessarily need that. Everything just hurts before you kind of like get up into a sitting position. And you see you're in a sick bay. Other beds are occupied in the sick bay, and you've got 2 individuals here. One person dressed like a doctor of some sort, and the other one similarly, but given what they're doing, probably a nurse. And you're hooked up to a few IVs and a machine that's you got like what do they call them? Not electrodes.
ECG.
Yeah. Well, it's those little like sensors. Yeah, the little pads and the sensors.
Yeah, that's an ECG.
Okay. Yeah. Then yeah.
I've done a few of them in my time.
Yeah. Oh. Okay. Oh, that's why I didn't realize in the US it's EKG, because for some reason we use the German word as the abbreviatory.
And you're very much love this character.
Yeah. Okay, Mr. Olstein, you had a bad reaction to thawing. So it's going to be a little bit before you're back to 100%.
What exactly happened with the falling process? Is the company Miracle going to cover me on this?
It'll cover it, yes. According to your file, and she's got like takes out a pad. According to your file, you do have a broader range than most when it comes to the thawing process. So you're in the upper range. Thankfully, no permanent damage, nothing that we couldn't fix. We just needed to bring you up slower than others. So you've been here for a few days while we slowly brought you back up to a conscious state. It's going to be a little bit before you're going to feel totally there. There's going to be some headaches, some body pain, joint issues might be a thing for a little while longer, nausea, nosebleeds, heart murmurs, palpitations, various other things. Just let us know if anything is feeling off, and me or one of the nurses will come by and help you.
Well, apart from feeling like I've just been blasted by a flamethrower, I think it's pretty much what you described.
Okay. Good. Actually, that's a good thing. That means everything's firing at all cylinders, so that's good. We're going to keep you for observation for about 12 hours. Everything looks good after you've woken up. Then you'll be on your way. Okay? And she, like, after a bit, more checking your vitals, goes and leaves you be, and you're kind of left alone, again, hooked up to this machine, a couple, like, bags of various chemicals still, like, in IV. And you're just kind of left alone with the other patients on the ward. And what you see is there's probably about 12 beds in this bay. And of that, maybe about half of the beds are occupied by various individuals that run the range from unconscious to three other individuals that you see that are awake in the ward. So you're one of the four that are awake total currently in the ward, and one person kind of in the same side, a couple of beds over from you, is like looking just as like green around the gills as probably you look. Definitely looks like they're feeling like shit, but outward appearance doesn't look like there's anything like physically wrong with them other than that. They just kind of like got a like a little say like one of those little like kidney shaped like dishes like on their lap, and they're just kind of like like braced like over it just in case they need it. But opposite of you, the other two that are awake are seemingly fine, but for one has a hand in a cast, or their lower arm in a cast, and the other one looks to have their entire like leg in a cast and is being suspended. And they're talking amongst themselves, kind of back and forth a little bit. Well, one of them is talking to the other, and the lady with her leg in a cast is trying to watch something on a data slate, pointedly, while the guy is just talking at her.
For the most part, Drax is just going to be a passive observer for now, since he's kind of still in recovery, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe search for, like, if he's got any of his personal belongings, something like maybe a book, see if he can read something, how that feels.
You're wearing what you went into cryo with. So just a pretty, like, a standard, like, just, cryo suit, just to, enough to cover you and also to help allow chemicals to be, brought in and all that. There's a complimentary, like, data slate that is on, like, a little side table near you that you can pick up if you'd like. And yeah, nobody really bothers you too much, and Ursa will come by every so often, check out, like, your readings and, like, your heart rate and stuff like that, and then go on to the next every so often. And if you check the data slate, it's connected to the OmniNet, so you have the equivalent of a space internet connection.
Immediately going to be the typical bland stereotype, not German, and read up on exactly what the hell's going on in the region, what we're up to as a company, blah blah blah, rather than anything interesting.
Yeah. What you get is one, as expected. The date is 20 years after you embarked, because you had a 2-year kind of near light, so that would check out.
Note to self: send mother 20 years worth of birthday presents. She's still even alive.
Yeah, it'll take 20 more years to get to her. 'Cause that's how things work. You got to wire her some money. Because the OmniNet is instantaneous. That is near instantaneous communication. But yeah, the data's moved forward 20 years. You have when you check, you're at the place that your contract said you should be in. So it's the Tan star system in the outer kind of frontier of colonized space. Your information is a little spotty in terms of what's available for you. Like there's the kind of company-backed info that's available for anybody looking up like what's going on right now. Apparently people are on the planet. There was an operation and there's currently fighting going on. If you're checking like public sources of info, it's pretty light on. Like there's a couple of like local like public broadcast channels that are rerunning like OmniNet dramas or various other like movies from other things kind of going along. News, trying to search like a news channel or something from like the local system. You get one, but it's just an emergency broadcast system kind of screen, and it's just in a language you can't speak or read. So it's a bit difficult to kind of understand, to get an idea of the specifics, and the company stuff's a little like just broad scopes, nothing too specific, because in case anybody's looking at or has access to the internal comms. But I'll say probably like a few hours after you've woken up, you know the headaches have dissipated a little bit. Your body's not feeling as in pain as it was before. You haven't noticed any nausea, which is good. And as your brain kind of is rewired and kind of coming back fully, and you can focus more as you read and kind of settle. This is like surprising that this happened necessarily. It's been a while since you've had a reaction like this, though. Just that people naturally have a range of reactions to thawing and freezing, and some people kind of wake up and they're fine. Other people have like bad reactions but are otherwise, you know, okay. And then some people have really bad reactions and it can be kind of dangerous to bring them back. Most of the time you're fine, but you're one of the few people who can kind of like, for some reason, just sometimes it's bad. It's on the bad end of the scale. And you can tell you're probably not the only person. There are a couple of other people here that again are still just passed out, like fully just like comatose.
You know, I mean, I can relate to it in real life. I'm one of those suckers that, you know, sneezes in bright light, has acid reflux whilst enjoying a coffee or an energy drink. You know, just sucks. Everything I enjoy is made 10 times difficult.
Huh. It's not actually aware that's the thing.
Hmm?
Like, sneezing in a bright light, is that like an actual thing?
Yeah. 33% of humanity has that. It's a genetic mutation.
I have that.
No.
I love working out in the sun, but unfortunately, I'm like every 30 seconds, I'm like, How'd you?
If people go into a hospital and they've got blocked sinuses, the doctors will tell them to do it, because a lot of times it will clear the sinuses.
I remember, like, because it's light change for me, and it's like I remember there was one time I left my house for university and I sneezed 28 times before I got to the co-op across the road. It was, yeah.
When you said 28 times, all I thought about was that, what is it, Detroit Become Human? 28 times!
I gave myself a nosebleed, so...
Either way.
Anyways.
Yeah, either way. Again, you know, after a couple of hours, you're fine. And you just go through a general, like, recovery period of people just periodically coming to check. There's a rotation of the doctors and nurses that you see. And you're also you're pretty sure you're on the same ship that you boarded, given the fact that there is a full medical wing you're on right now. And according to what you know, you're in orbit around a planet, and you have gravity, which means this has got to be on like a gravity block, because there is no artificial gravity in Lancer. So this has got to be like an internal ring spinning in kind of a dead space in the ship to kind of create gravity, which is reserved for very specific medical necessity and the storage of very hazardous materials that need gravity to be kind of stable.
And I assume also for like medical functions in terms of like just the basic, like giving people the chance to experience gravity long enough so that
there are gyms, yeah, gyms and various other things. But most people don't.
Although it could be argued that is a form of artificial gravity because all gravity is an illusion. Did you miss me?
I mean, I did. Doesn't necessarily mean I missed this. But yeah, you do with that, and you're slowly kind of just adapting to everything, and you have just the full Omninet available to kind of pass the time. Nobody really bothers you. You're obviously somebody who has some sort of combat role compared as just like you have that look about you. So other people don't bother. The other two that around here, they look more like they're somehow we're talking about maintenance and like the actual like through deck of the ship. So it seems like they're probably some sort of on like a maintenance or engineering kind of team. And if there's nothing else you want to do, during this period, you just kind of like try and get new information and stay in bed. We then actually go back to where we were previously, down on the planet around the capital city of Tanam, or Tanam Prime, in the forward operating base that our players have been kind of bunking in for a few days. After a few days of kind of a fairly standard schedule of going out, doing what you need to do, or doing what you want to do, Padre going and helping medical, Spanner going out and helping the maintenance crews and the printer teams, and then the other three doing various things around the base. You all notice like stuff's still going at a pretty good clip, but things are a bit more organized. You even see like some additions to the fob being constructed throughout the days. Yes.
Did we get the opportunity to change up the gear on our mechs?
Well, I'm saying is that is something you were able to do during the last session and this session, and it'll be ready by the time you go. So, but yeah, but you notice a few additions to the forward operating base being done as well, as construction vehicles are slowly being brought down. Something that hasn't changed is the fact that ships from orbit are rare and have to do the same really aggressive entry profile that you saw before, and it happens kind of at the same time every day, but it's usually only like one. So new things coming in is limited, rare. But throughout the days, some engineering vehicles come in or are made in the printers, and you see engineers kind of building some stuff in the base. And after a day or two, you figure out what it is. There's a couple of like semicircular kind of dugouts that a couple of artillery pieces are occupying after kind of a night, and throughout the day, you even like get warnings over the base intercom of the base's battery commencing counter battery fire, and then like you'll hear like a couple of like a salvo of rounds kind of going out, meaning that there's kind of still fighting going on, and now more support's being done to try and help from the rear. What was the individuals that did not finalize their kind of downtime activity? Did you want to say what you did at this time? Because it's kind of the end of the downtime period.
Could I use Get Connected or Get Organized to spread the information that I've learned about the two enemy mechs that I spotted yesterday? Well, earlier today.
I mean, yeah, you could. What are you trying to get? Hold on, I gotta bring up my actual rulebook here, just to see the actual Get Connected benefits. Downtime. Said Get Connected.
Yeah. He just wants to spread this information around. He doesn't necessarily want anything for it.
Okay. Yeah, you could do that. Or who are you trying to focus on? In terms of
Grim.
Grim? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, give me a D20 roll.
Does that include grit or is it just flat D20?
It would be a grit.
Grit check. 5.
5. Okay. The result of that roll is your contact will help you potentially if you ask them, but you'll have to do something.
I have to do a favor or make good on a promise right now.
Yeah, so it's kind of a trade-off with that one. Anyone else? Because I think we had. What else did we have the previous downtime? Because other people did theirs.
I did the same, but I got connected with the meds, the medical staff, so I have a connection.
Yeah.
I have a quick question. I don't think my com's updating because I'm still since level 0 in game, but I'm 1 on here, and I've tried to hit the load and it's not updated it.
Blake, did you have the same issue?
Yeah, I had to generate a new code.
Oh, okay. My mouse just died as well, so that's perfect.
Excellently timed.
Yeah.
Aha.
I'll do that in a minute.
Okay. Just double checking some stuff here. Okay, I'll have to get rid of the previous mechs and put the new one on because the previous mechs don't update either. Okay, yeah, just let me know when you do that and then I can organize things on my end. Just PM me that. Yeah, what did you do, Red? Just so I can double check.
I started trying to get Gravity Fit because I'd been on.
Right.
So I was actually working on physical training.
Cool. And I remember Oleg was trying to learn the local language. What did Demon do? Or has Demon declared their downtime activity?
Demon was going to talk to Reaper.
No, I'm saying the downtime activity.
That was Demon's thing.
Okay. There's a mechanical thing for downtime, that you get.
Other than that, he's just going to sleep, eat, and make sure he's up to date on information. His job's to take care of the group, not take care of himself.
All right. You may do so then. whenever you want to, you can definitely get in contact with Midge. You know your mic is on while you're moving around, and we can hear you the whole time. It's just it's yeah, no, it's fine. You're dealing with your new mixer or whatever it is. So yeah, whenever you want to, if you want to go, definitely can. Rival, there is no limitation on that.
Okay. I've had a word with Reaper and told him next time I give you orders, can you follow them, please?
He's just shrugged and walked away.
In which case, Demon grabs him by the shoulder, turns him around, and says, "There is multiple reasons I wanted you to take Ursa with you. Given the fact you're just going to talk to me like that, fine. 1, you're more combat effective when you're in pairs rather than on your own. 2, you are the XO for this unit. If anything happens to you, I'm on my own. I don't want it to happen. 3, Ursa needs more combat time with someone who knows what they're doing. 4, if you're injured, there's no way for you to get back without help."
There was no combat time. I literally
Not
just sat on
the
a roof
point.
for a few hours, and I have a stealth suit.
I don't give a rat's ass.
I'm not used to working with people.
Fine, you want to work on your own, tell me. I'll get Juliet to put you on solo combat.
Well, I can do that too if you want, but I asked him to come with me, and he said he had other shit to do, so I went to do it anyway.
What I heard, you gave him the option of coming with you.
Yeah. I'm not... You say I'm the XO. I don't want to be the XO.
Fine, you're not the
That's not what I
XO
wanna
anymore
do.
then. I'll just put
Cool.
you on scout duty.
Fine, works for me. That's the end of it then.
That's the end of it then.
Mercenaries. Can't work with them.
Can't work with him, can't live without him.
Yes, you can.
Well, not in this universe, apparently not. Also, he wasn't a mercenary, he was a union guy, much like DJ.
Yes.
You're a mercenary now.
We're mercenaries now.
Okay, I'm just double checking ownership of all of the tokens and stuff. Should work. Should all be good. Also, like your mech sheets should now be correct and in the right spot with the correct token and up to date. Because you had 2 there for some reason. One was your old one was your new one. So I got rid of the
I
old
think
one
when
for
you import it, like imports everything all over again. I think at
think
least
it's
when it
the
comes to the
right-
mechs, I think.
Yeah. I don't think it's the right token because I updated the token, but it is the right Mac. That's what I.
Did you send me the right? Did you send me the updated one?
Yeah. It's I sent it to you right before I sent you Oleg's picture. The Oleg token.
Right. Okay. I'll have to do that later. Cool. So, are we? It's the rival household having to deal with importing.
The small things, you know how it is.
Yeah, I guess so. I'll just point out to everybody, for future reference, the Forge, the game is actually available at all times of the day, all times of the week for you to update things.
Which is very convenient.
Yeah, yeah. So, I think that's everybody's downtime activity, which works. Cool. Funny enough, it actually did not redo your the gray area. He had just moved it, and it's the correct the correct mech. I didn't have to redo anything. Just have to put it back in the pilot mech folder.
I think it's because in order to make mine, I had to make a new mech because I was using a new frame.
Yeah.
That's why mine changed.
That's probably it. Cool. Riveting for everybody watching.
And listening. Don't forget those
Yeah,
too.
and listening. That's right. Mikey is diligent about making sure these all go up. Rival, you good?
Give him a second. Give the man a minute.
Okay.
It's fixed.
Yay!
Mine fixed as
Cool.
well. I found a workaround. I basically logged in and logged out again on Comic-Con. It allowed me to download it.
Nice.
Cool. Awesome. So yeah,
Everything's
you go
working.
you go through these days, doing your downtime activities and helping out where you can. When after, let's say, after it's been probably about maybe a week-ish since you got into the base, there's an actual meeting called with the entire Lancer unit for kind of a briefing.
Ooh. Well, this should be fun.
But now I have to get clean.
Wash your hands. It's good enough, really. A lot of these guys don't really care much more than that.
And when you all kind of head to the meeting, you notice it's not just it is everybody, and there's no real big room. There's not a room big enough dedicated to this, so you're all just kind of in a hangar that's had like a projector screen set up temporarily, and a whole bunch of just random chairs and stuff brought in, very makeshift kind of setup. And the head is a figure you all know, which is Grim. She is kind of talking with someone else that you are not familiar with, an individual that is wearing a uniform, but is using a patch you don't recognize on their uniform, and is kind of carrying around a if you've ever noticed the difference, if you know the difference between like a regular laptop and like a tough book kind of laptop, like one that's like made for being used, that's like what they have, but like for a data slate, like a tough book data slate.
A tough slate, if you would.
A tough slate, yes. Yeah, it's not a name brand though. Those are called granites. Yeah.
It's military. It can't be that good.
Yeah, you're right. But you all get in, and she's waving everybody to go and sit in the various chairs, kind of non-verbally. So, I'm assuming you all sit next to each other, kind of in a little group like you did previously. Next to you sits the slightly smaller team that is head up currently by Sunshine, with her other two teammates. Echo is not there. And after a few minutes of everybody kind of shuffling in and kind of sitting down, you see
During that, Demon, you feel Reaper tap you on the leg. Sorry about yesterday. It's shitty of me to do that to you. I understand you're under pressure. I understand you're in command of a ragtag group of 3 greenhorns. It's not easy. I'm trying not to make it any harder for you. I apologize. It won't happen again.
Okay.
Thank you.
But after those couple of minutes of shuffling around and everybody getting into seats and everything, you see Grim kind of wave the guy off a little bit. And he just doesn't go away. He just stands off to the side, out of the way of the screen. And Grim kind of clears her throat before going forward. All right. Hey, everybody. So we've been kind of on a holding pattern for the last couple of days, but we finally got a new mission, just came down from up top. An actual kind of coordinated effort that's supposed to help our boys on foot and in vehicles to help them actually get something done. So this is going to be called, or at least this is what I'm being told, is called Operation... Hold on, let me bring up my thing here. Operation Long Pass. It's kind of like clicks a button and a little like mini remote in her hand, and you see the screen kind of pop up, and you see a map of the city pop up. Fairly, it's really basic. It just shows kind of the extent of the city's kind of proper districts, and then a couple of like major points of interest scattered around, and then in the center there's a big oval with kind of Long Pass labeled on it. And hold on a second. I will.
If you're switching to a map, Roach Midge isn't here to change the screen, so
Yeah,
only
well,
we
this
can
is
see
for
right
you.
now, but
Yeah, it's for you. This still.
apologies to the people at home once Midge is
It'll
back.
happen sooner or later, or we're just gonna hear like Midge like
Running, just
sprinting up the stairs. You're like, what? I know he's still got his ears on.
For the podcast, you don't care.
Yeah,
Yeah,
don't worry.
it's pretty normal. But yeah, to describe, it's a fair, it's the city. There's also a location that is pinned of around forward operating base Rapier off to the side. And yeah, so that's kind of the city in terms of size, shape, and some major points of interest. In the future, I'll also probably put in like what's a green, red, and yellow zone. But I did not have something.
Roach,
Yes.
do we know which of those flight ports we took?
The one that you took care of would be the one that is in the far left.
Okay.
The one that Padre's team was tasked with taking was the one that's in the middle, and the other one was I believe that was Bravo's Beta. I forget off the top of my head. Just go double check the notes. As far as say, you were told that all of them have been dealt with. But yes, that is what that symbol means. Those are all of the kind of municipal kind of spaceports. Then it's also marked out a couple of hospitals, couple of government buildings, and the like kind of major police precincts that were in the city. Pre-invasion.
That makes a lot more sense. And I'm like, why do we have parking structures marked on this map?
Yeah, with a badge.
I didn't see the badge. My brain doesn't see that. My brain just saw the P and the exact lettering that's used for parking structure. I'm like,
I mean, it could be useful for storage or for base operations or whatever. I suppose maybe I don't know.
They are extremely well constructed because they're supposed to take a lot of weight, so they are hardy things that could take a lot of damage.
Yeah,
that's true. But yeah, no, she clicks on the map and shows us off. And goes, so the plan is that we're going to be doing a big operation right along the main line of engagement that's currently set up in between the city's main kind of municipal building and one of the hospitals that the enemy have currently been trying to hold. Along that road, it's been a pretty tough nut to crack. The ground pounders haven't been able to push through it yet. They've been kind of stopped cold. Our objective is going to be to take out a small command post behind the main municipal building, and then by doing so, kind of unanchoring their right, trying to force them back deeper into the city towards the river. Now, because we're not exactly sure where the bulk of their forces still are, or if they have the capability of striking back yet, a small reserve force is going to be kept in the fob for a potential counterattack or unexpected enemy operation. The individuals who will be doing that are that's the wrong op rod.
This is entirely in character right now, by the way. This is her like flubbing through the
Going through her
data slate, trying to find the right
her folders and everything. The ones who will be staying back will be Thunder, Warhawk, and Hammer. Be staying here at the fob, along with elements of Vanguard, the mech infantry force. They're going to be pulled back off the line, and the other battalion will be moved forward fresh. Like to do that going. Riverjack will be put forward. So with that, let's get into the nitty gritty. And she proceeds to go through the various info. You're not on the plan. I mean, Hammer doesn't feature at all. It's kind of here as the operation is just kind of going down point by point by point. And from what you can see, it's pretty basic. It's just going to be just an offensive, kind of along a road, and then hopefully trying to kind of crack this little defensive line that they've set up in the city, or at least in this district of the city.
Is it a reenactment of Market Garden by any chance?
There's no bridges.
Go along one little road.
No, it's not actually going up to it. There is no road. It's you have to, once you get past that and they take out the command post, there's a road that kind of takes them further back, and then they come around to the side. It's kind of like a little left, like a little hook that they kind of want to go with. Looks good enough. For the most part, it's going to have a couple of teams of Lancers kind of all concentrated on one, which is probably a good enough little shock that'll do something to them. But kind of goes through this plan, and then towards the end, she passes it off to the figure that's been standing there that she saw she was talking to previously. This other uniformed individual, who looks very, how would I say, kind of thin, like not gaunt, but just thin, and not particularly tall either. Just this thin person in a uniform that looks kind of a little baggy on them. They don't have glasses or anything. It's pretty like nondescript. Honestly, you'd probably just overlook them in a crowd. But she kind of like gestures over and goes, and from our intelligence wing, this is these are my notes now. Bring up. Notes. For some reason, I swear, Google Docs have been slow all day for me. Has not wanted to like be snappy as it usually is. This is Sergeant Miller from Avari Intelligence. He'll be taking you through some things that might be good to know and some general overviews of the local area. She steps aside and gives kind of a little remote to him, and this kind of just nondescript thin guy walks up and goes, "Hello." Clears his throat and yep. So, a few bits of information that thought you should all know. Rumors going around. Just want to make sure you're all well informed. One. Local civilian population is now back. Turns out they had been held up in shelters underground. Our best estimates from what we've been able to figure out is they were constructed about 20 years ago in case of any orbital actions. And they stayed in them until they ran out of supplies. So most of the civilians are back out and above ground, though whether or not they're staying out is person to person. So reiterating our directive to avoid civilian casualties and the destruction of civilian property at all costs. Kind of clicks a button and then goes forward. Individuals you are facing, you may have noticed some bits of this already for those who have fought a bit more than just the initial invasion. Best we can figure, there are two distinct forces currently in the city. There is the local city militia and a component of the local Republic military forces, their local army. Between the two, they're different in the sense that the militia's equipment is less abundant, not as up-to-date, a bit more makeshift, but they are motivated. So they'll stick around for a fight even when they're not necessarily likely to win. The armed forces are, as we can figure, well-trained, well-armed, and tactically adept. So they are more than willing to back away from a fight if necessary. With this information, you may be able to tailor how you go about an engagement, knowing this. Specifically on that, some information we've received lately, and some that are some individuals here would be aware of, is a unit that made their way into the city during the invasion and have shown themselves a few times. Clicks a button and you see a kind of three superimposed images. One is one you're all very familiar with because you fought him. Is a kind of customized Raleigh and has a little caption that says Blackjack. Center one is a swallowtail, kind of little like fuzzy and from a long range away with a little motion blur on it and just says subject to. And then the third one is a much clearer, but kind of from low to the ground, like street level kind of picture of a drake kind of wreathed in some fire to its side that says subject 3. These three, and our assumption is there are 4, of which we're calling subject 4, but we don't currently have any hard evidence or visual confirmation of them, are a team of the uniformed services for the local republic that have been used infrequently but to great effect on our forces. There's 2 teams here have fought at least one of their number, and that is the first one. Clicks, better image, kind of full image of Blackjack. The only reason we know of this name, this one seems to be a talker, well trained, very skilled with their mech. They like to get in close. Keep in mind on that. There's a admittedly light dossier on each of these that you can read up on. We're still trying to find more specific information about them, but the best we can figure, again, part of the uniform services, they are most likely some of the more veteran members of the Lancer Corps that the local republic has access to, especially considering how they compare up with other Lancers or other mechs we've seen in the area. Clicks, goes through subject 2, and just kind of gives a very stats kind of go across the screen, but it's a lot of them are just blank. That just says it's a swallowtail. Long range kit seems to be not directly being used as like a sniper or anything like that. It goes, the reason we believe subject 4 is working in conjunction with subject 2, as this one is a spotter and the other one is using some form of long range ordnance that is being directed and called in, as it seems to be a bit more accurate than the standard mobile artillery pieces that the enemy currently has access to. But that is speculation at this point. Goes through, and then Drake has almost nothing on it. Just a subject 3, Drake, heavily armored, seems to be mobile. Seems to be a bit more mobile than the standard. And it clicks again, and it goes to another screen that just goes over kind of a more broad strokes things, going over some logistics information, various other things that are kind of an overview of what's going on. Before he arrives kind of at the end of the meeting, of his section of the meeting, and goes, and there's a lot of rumors going around as of the current the current campaign, especially with the light show that was given during the invasion. I've been told to give you all an overview of what happened so we can quell some of the rumors going around. As you all saw or heard, one of the ships in orbit was destroyed during the initial action. This was Third Wheel. It's one of the light cruisers within the battle group. The enemy did not have some sort of foreknowledge of the engagement or anything. Our intelligence shows that during the engagement, Third Wheel was caught out of position when a volley of anti-orbital missiles fired from the ground struck it. She took 3 hits amidship, and it seems one of them destabilized her reactors. At which point we're all aware of the message that was sent out and the results of said hit. We do not currently have any information on survivors. Recordings and sensor logs show no lifeboats or escape pods at the time.
Oleg's just shaking his head at the mention of survivors of something like that. He's seen too many ships go critical to believe there's any survivors of something like that.
But if there's any change in that, keep an eye out. We will be informing the AMS Force in system. So check your local newsletter and various daily intel reports for any information on that. There is a casualty list that is available publicly if for anybody that may have had friends on board at the time. And then he kind of takes a breath, gives the remote back to Grim before kind of nods his head and then walks away kind of awkwardly. Grim was, all right, yeah, so that's it for the operation. You've all got your op rods. For the teams that are sticking back here at the fob, meet me in my office in about a half hour, just to go over some specifics. Yes, Banner.
Hammer Group wasn't listed on the op, Grim.
Yep, you were part of the base force.
Yeah. We were listed to stay behind.
That is correct. Everybody kind of shuffles out slowly. But yeah, so you kind of get that meeting. It's not only you, it's also well, Echo's team, but currently Sunshine's team are also one of the others that are behind, as well as the one led by Mr. Thompson.
Red Moogle's note-taking let her down.
It did. Oh my goodness. So it was Thunder, Saber, and Hammer, right?
Yeah.
Thunder, Warhawk, and Saber is Padre's old group.
Oh yes, they are all currently MIA aside from Padre.
Why do you think I was so quiet? I didn't question the attack plan as being completely basic and useless.
Yeah,
because he's not involved with it.
It's like, not my problem.
It was more detailed for them, but you were on a part of that, so there's no reason
exactly.
to go
So I don't
over
need to know about it. I mean, I want to know about it, but I don't need to know about it, so I'm not going to get told about it.
But we bring back ordnance. Come on now.
You lost 2 mechs.
That's
we
fine.
gained a tank.
We did gain a tank.
I think the mech's worth
A
more.
tank or 2 mechs. I mean, granted, one of those mechs took out our entire target, and I'll be forever grateful for Ursa for blowing up his mech for that. However, 2 mechs does not equal a tank.
I mean, it should only have been 1 mech, but here we are. You weren't entirely aware of the
one was
system.
blown up on purpose. The other one was lost to enemy action.
One was lost to rules confusion.
Yeah.
The haze of battle. She will call it.
The haze of battle.
The haze of battle. But yeah, so everything kind of like shuffles out, and you see Sunshine's also like kind of looking at it and goes, I don't know why we had to be called to this if we weren't going to be part of it.
Information doctrine, you never know when you're going to need to know it. Just because we're not being sent in right now doesn't mean they're not going to be sent in, I don't know, 8 hours when the rest of this starts falling apart. If it does.
Simple fact is, we need to know that other people are going to be deployed in case we need to go and back them up.
Mm-hmm.
And if we know where they are, we can get there just as fast. We know what their general plan is. We can assess the situation and get involved straight away, rather than having to report to someone and figure out where we're going.
Point taken.
Anyway, I'm sure we'll find out the rest in about half an hour.
Yep, I suppose we are going and talking to Grim then. And yeah, so yeah, basically you all just kind of like, your 3 groups kind of just mingle for about, 25-ish minutes kind of together. Before start making your way over to where Grim's office is, which is in the admin building. up a flight of stairs and then to like a row of what used to be offices, but like, yes.
Sorry, I'm getting confused. I thought Grim was our sort of squad leader, and then Sunshine was kind of XO.
No, Sunshine's.
Sunshine
second
is
second in command, isn't she?
Yes, which means that if your commanding officer takes command of the attack, their second in command will take command of any reserve forces.
I suppose Grim's been promoted to that because Echo is currently
off the grid.
Well, Grim was above Echo.
no,
but
I
she
know
was
you're
kind of
right. You're right. I've got them mixed up in my head. Dude, that is correct. Yeah, Grim was not the one doing that. It was Sunshine doing that. I got those mixed up in my brain. It's okay. It's still early in the campaign that happens, and the two characters have similar.
What, like Demon and Reaper?
Yeah.
And the fact you've got someone called Grim.
We've got Grim, Demon, Reaper. It's great time. Great time.
Yeah. No, I know.
At least we'll never get Fathead mixed up with anyone else.
That's true. But yeah, no, you go up to Sunshine's office. Sunshine was the one doing the entire briefing. So somebody had called me out about that earlier.
I lost my notes in the great note purge of the CompCon syncing, so I didn't have that info anymore.
The great note purge.
Analog.
Paper don't break, baby.
It's kind of true. Either way, yes, you head up to Sunshine's office. Grim is the one walking with you. But yeah, you go up to it's a former row of offices, though it looks like most of these are just where storage is being kind of left right now. That stuff that's small enough, or things that are small enough to come in here, but not like important enough to be in like somewhere else. So just like a lot of basic supplies and everything, just in large quantities. But around like one of the corners, you see Sunshine's office, and there she is. Hold on a second. When do you all enter? Sunshine's office is just a small room with a makeshift desk in its center, made from empty ammo crates, with like a big like flat board kind of laying across two stacks, and she's just sitting on the other side of it on a stool, kind of like a portable camp stool. The walls of the room are bare of almost anything except for a few small posters that look to be here before anyone took over, as they are in the local language. So they just haven't been taken down, but they're like standard, like from like the setup and imagery. It's very much like hang in there, and like the motivational, like, you know, poster kind of thing.
Well, Spanner can actually read them with the data plating thing.
Oh yeah, there's one that's like there's like a horizon picture, and it just says like inspiration or some, you know, like useless piece of shit like that. Just gonna set up. But sitting on the opposite side of the desk is Sunshine, and she kind of waits for everybody to file in. There is no chairs for anyone else here. When you all kind of stand opposite of her, she starts up. Or actually, no, there was one person in there. The person that you saw from the intel department that was standing next to her previously is also continuing to stand next to her here, with the same kind of tough slate. Waits, and then when you are all here, she goes, "Okay, so what we're about to tell you cannot leave this room. Your mission orders for the previous operation are a cover. Intel," she indicates towards the intel member, believes there might be possible leaks in some of the departments. So we're keeping things kind of on the down low. And this this mission is of a higher priority, but we believe that a distraction would help all of you. And she kind of like snaps her fingers, gives her his slate, and she kind of presses a couple of buttons and hands it, or at least like shows it to all of you. What you see is a kind of a grainy video playback from what you can pretty much immediately tell is some sort of traffic camera. But as it plays, it has obviously been edited, as it zooms into a corner of the video, and you see a string of individuals wearing AMS flight suits with covered heads being kind of moved from the back of a vehicle into a building.
Saber Team's flight crew.
Well, and we also believe to be Saber Team themselves. Or at least a portion of them. Currently, from what we can tell, should be about two-thirds, three-quarters of the listed missing members. They don't look injured or anything, but their heads are covered, and they are being kind of led by armed individuals. She continues. It's most likely, from what we can tell, local militias got them. And we've been able to narrow down the possible places they're being held to 2 separate locations in one of the districts in the city. Now, that district is further away on the opposite side. Well, not necessarily opposite, but it's far enough away that we believe Long Pass will draw a good number of attention. Allows you to get in and out without too much issue. And then she kind of, you hear like a little like message from all of your pads as a new opera is uploaded and sent out to all of you. Hold on, let me bring up this and share it, because you actually had to have a copy of this, because that's the thing for this campaign.
Can I keep an eye on Padre whilst this is happening?
Okay. Are you trying to ascertain?
Sneaky side eye to make sure he's okay.
You see like a sort of him do a small gesture, including like where he just kind of like points. But he looks a little calmer, actually.
Because he knows what's happened.
Yep.
Possibly.
So that's been signed out on the handouts if anybody wants to look it over directly, but I'm going to be going over it right now anyways. So yes, the Kimor district has 2 locations that are most likely where they're being held, as we've been able to kind of spot higher amounts of enemy activity. We're hoping for a quick and easy rescue and return of our friends, but be on the lookout for anything. Here's how it's going to go. At the start, we're going to be having elements of the Vanguard Mech Infantry Battalion supporting Thunder, Warhawk, and Hammer. We're going to leave here in the middle of the night, and we're going to have a phase of the operation where we want a reconnaissance of the local area. Try and narrow down, if possible, which of the two locations have the prisoners. Or potentially if both of them have the prisoners. We're unsure at this point. Once you've been able to gather as much info as possible, we want you to locate them and extract the prisoners. We're going to have an extraction team, some light utility vehicles that they'll be onboarded to once you've located them. We'll have some medics on board as well in case it's necessary, and they'll be brought directly back here to the fob. The detention facilities aren't purpose-built, so we don't expect that to be an issue. You'll just have to actually deal with the guards and any other forces that'll be in the area. Once that's been done, we want the rest of the unit to fall back in good order away from the location. Hopefully this should all be taking place during the time that Long Pass is being conducted, which Long Pass will be conducted the beginning of tomorrow night all the way through to the next day, or the day after the next. So we have a full night to do this. We're going to give Long Pass a good 6 hours before we go in with this one, which is being called Backspin.
This is something I have a fair bit of experience with, Sunshine. Seems like a good plan. I appreciate the thought-out nature. I can't think of anything specific, but anybody else here have any particular experience with infiltration and reconnaissance?
No, but I might be able to hack some things, if that'll help.
That's a question for the room, by the way, not just my own team.
No, you don't see anybody.
Arprod says there's 2 locations suspected of holding them. Any way to narrow it down?
That's what the recon is for. We need closer inspection from the air. It's impossible to tell 100%. One could just be a mustering point, while the other one could be the actual place where they're being held. We know they are in that location, though.
Can you show us on the map the exact locations of suspected places?
Yeah, I'm trying to, but I'm having trouble right now.
It's that goddamn Wi-Fi. It's
okay, yeah, that's
good. Roach has been trying to unhide kind of the op area since.
Is it on the wrong layer?
No, it isn't. It's just being hidden, and it's not unhiding itself. So
try unpausing the game.
I did, and I'm having to reload and seeing if that fixes it, because the other one didn't matter if that was paused or not. So
yeah, I wouldn't think if the GM is doing it, it would matter. But there's one.
Got backspin.
Yeah, I just refreshed and it popped in. Well, one of them did anyway.
Yeah, it popped up for me without needing to close or anything.
Where's the second one?
Trying.
Is it the other parking garage?
Yeah. Oh, those are police stations. No.
And they're police stations.
Yeah, the police stations. No, they're all in the same area.
That's never going to go away now that I've said that.
Yeah.
Actually, police stations is even better for a defensive position because they are built to keep people out and in.
Yeah, the other one is the hospital nearby. I'm going to have to reach.
Oh, the one in like the crook in the road down there? Like this one
yeah,
here?
I'm just gonna have to redraw the damn thing because it's not working.
That's fair.
Okay, so we got one at police station, one just hospital. Suggest prioritizing the police station.
Well, the plan is for all of the teams to go in, gather intel, and then narrow it down to either or, or both, and then going about a plan like on the ground. But hopefully,
I can manage the infill and recon bit. That's not going to be much of a hassle. It's fairly It's urbanized, so it's not that hard to find places to hide in my mech or out of it.
Yeah, it's also not hard for the enemy to hide troops to blow your ass up.
That's true, but anybody else here have
Thankfully-
any information?
We use the infantry to get down to the streets. We supply support until they get close. Then you do your recon thing so they can be there to support you.
So, just going to continue with my briefing for more info.
No.
The hospital location is in a yellow zone and has been actively not patrolled around. We believe if they are being held there, that they're being held in the basements of the hospital, but they're used to infantry from our forces being nearby. So if a force would like to volunteer, they can go on foot and try and narrow it down. The police station would be more of an active recon to figure that one out, as that's still a red zone, which would be visible if I had the time or the ability to actually paint these hexes, but did not have.
Give yourself a break, Roach.
Uh,
It's my job to hound you and annoy you.
But also to help with this mission, I believe you're all a bit short of pilots. So, first one found him just kind of mulling about with nothing to do, so decided to bring him in and kind of like raised your voice at that. And you see walking in, kind of funny enough, like because you're all like taking up a lot of space inside this small office, but it's kind of like shuffles in. You see Echo kind of shuffling in with a kind of an off-color prosthetic on his kind of the hand or the arm that he lost.
Hi, buddy. Good to see you back out and about.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me give you a hand.
Back. Hey.
I think he already has 2 of them.
Yeah. Gotta get used to this one, though. It's a little odd. But yeah. And she smiles. Everybody kind of gives a little, like, pat on the shoulder. Happy everybody's back. And for Hammer, just to supplement your group, since technically Padre is supposed to be a part of Saber, we're just gonna kind of augment you with extras to kind of give this operation a bit more oomph. We had a couple of late arrivals, some late sleepers gonna join us, and at that point you're kind of given your queue that was already worked out, Drax, and you were on the last flight down, which was a harrowing experience to say the least, as you plunged through the atmosphere at like a 0 angle directly down, avoiding.
You were warned not to eat 2 hours beforehand.
Yeah. But yeah, you know, given all your stuff and everything, and you've been kind of settling in, and you come into the room and you see just a large group of other pilots. And describe your character for us.
So Drax is about as bland and average as bland and average gets. He's got the demeanor of a guy who's a pretty seasoned military enlisted person. Definitely doesn't have the swagger of an officer, but has the kind of confident, casual confidence of an NCO. In terms of his looks, he's just dressed for the job. Really, there's a basic sort of barrack fatigues, brown hair, brown eyes, not overly built, but not lanky either. Yeah. So certainly looks like he's just coming in. He's just there for the business, really. Sort of acknowledges everyone else in the room with just a little sort of glance around, looking over, and maybe a nod if anyone sort of nods at him in reply, but he's not going to initiate anything quite yet. until he's more formally introduced, I suppose.
Would Drax say it's just business?
Yeah. Yeah.
Credits roll.
Credits roll. Yeah, pretty much he'll give a nod and stuff, unless he's made to stand up and introduce himself. He'll just go into the chair for the briefing.
Okay, and with that, it's our break time. So how about we do our break? So we will see you in 10 minutes' time after this little break section. See you in a moment. Now let me hope if I can mute in time. Hey, come here a minute. Do you need royalty-free music for your TTRPG content, whether that be a YouTube video, stream, TikTok, Instagram post? Don't worry, we've got you covered. My name's Alex. I've been a content creator for almost a decade now, and I've teamed up with my good friend Harry to produce 10 royalty-free songs for you to use in your content completely for free. We've tried to make a whole range of motifs with this album, covering happy music to sad music, to mystery music to combat music. And if this takes off, you know what? We might even make some more. So give the Elendor Chronicles soundtrack Volume 1 a shot. It's free to stream everywhere, and if you want the high quality downloads, you can come over to our Patreon and download them, or you can contact me directly at tabletop@themidgemansworld.co.uk as a creator, and I'll just give it to you for free. That's it, there's no catch, and just to prove it, we've also given you guys a user license agreement to prove that you have the complete perpetual rights to use this content. So enjoy, and good luck on your next adventure. Oh, good day. I'm Martin Sanderson, and I'm the CEO of Avari Military Solutions. We here at Avari know that it doesn't take much to cause problems out on the frontier, whether that be from local pirate raids, neighboring interstellar powers, or even just an unhappy populace with unreasonable demands. Just what is a small to mid-sized regional power to do when faced with these problems? You look to Avari for your solutions. With open-ended contracts, well-trained personnel, state-of-the-art aerospace forces, and competitive rates, we stand ready to help find the right solution to your problem. So if you have a problem, why not call Avari for your solution? Our operators are waiting to take your call, and consultations are free of charge.
Avari Military Solutions, a solution for your problem.
Avari Military Solutions is not licensed to operate within the Kark and Dre Baronies, the Andes Corps, or any Class A combat zones. AMS is a subsidiary of Omni Radiance Holdings, a family company.
When is a story more than a story? When a tale is more than words on paper? When is an ad more than the script it's written on? In the darkest and deepest annals of our own history, worlds of wonder and splendor burst through like a blister made of hope. From the brain that's rattled and riddled with madness, a radiant pustule. Writing, art, that's storytelling. That is the true lust of life. You too can dutifully indulge in art. Like fans of the greats. Shakespeare, King, Tolkien, Seuss, Mercer. You too can indulge through Twitch Prime. Get an extended access to a wealth of knowledge with a simple click, an emotion so small that it could endlessly amount to possibilities. Embrace those feelings. Support art. Support the component cast. hey, come here a minute. Do you need royalty-free music for your TTRPG content, whether that be a YouTube video, stream, TikTok, Instagram post? Don't worry, we've got you covered. My name's Alex. I've been a content creator for almost a decade now, and I've teamed up with my good friend Harry to produce 10 royalty-free songs for you to use in your content completely for free. We've tried to make a whole range of motifs with this album, covering happy music to sad music, to mystery music to combat music. And if this takes off, you know what? We might even make some more. So give the Elendor Chronicles soundtrack Volume 1 a shot. It's free to stream everywhere, and if you want the high quality downloads, you can come over to our Patreon and download them, or you can contact me directly at tabletop@themidgemansworld.co.uk as a creator, and I'll just give it to you for free. That's it, there's no catch, and just to prove it, we've also given you guys a user license agreement to prove that you have the complete perpetual rights to use this content. So enjoy, and good luck on your next adventure. Oh, good day. I'm Martin Sanderson, and I'm the CEO of Avari Military Solutions. We here at Avari know that it doesn't take much to cause problems out on the frontier, whether that be from local pirate raids, neighboring interstellar powers, or even just an unhappy populace with unreasonable demands. Just what is a small to mid-sized regional power to do when faced with these problems? You look to Avari for your solutions. With open-ended contracts, well-trained personnel, state-of-the-art aerospace forces, and competitive rates, we stand ready to help find the right solution to your problem. So if you have a problem, why not call Avari for your solution? Our operators are waiting to take your call, and consultations are free of charge.
Avari Military Solutions, a solution for your problem.
Avari Military Solutions is not licensed to operate within the Kark and Dray Baronies, the Andes Corps, or any Class A combat zones. AMS is a subsidiary of Omni Radiance Holdings, a family company.
When is a story more than a story? When a tale is more than words on paper? When is an ad more than the script it's written on? In the darkest and deepest annals of our own history, worlds of wonder and splendor burst through like a blister made of hope from the brain that's wrestled and riddled with madness. A radiant pustule. Writing, art, that's storytelling. That is the true lust of life. You too can dutifully indulge in art. Like fans of the greats. Shakespeare, King, Tolkien, Seuss, Mercer. You too can indulge through Twitch Prime. Get an extended access to a wealth of knowledge with a simple click, an emotion so small that it could endlessly amount possibilities. Embrace those feelings. Support art. Support the component cast. Okay, I think I'm back in. I think I hit all the buttons correctly. I need to just double check on
Let's double check.
Yeah, I am, and you are okay. Hello, everybody. We're sad to say, unfortunately, we are going to have to cut this stream a little bit short. So you'll have to join us next week. I'm sorry, but things have come up. So we will see you around. We have been the Component Cast. This has been Lancer. We got a brief introduction to Tari's character, but we will.
They're here now.
Yeah, they're here now, but we'll have a full session next week. So until then, we will see you around. There is our Cyberpunk game tomorrow, so do stick around for that. Do return, for that. Or if not, you can catch all our content on the YouTube. Anyway, we will see you next time. Bye-bye now.
Bye.